He was 13 years old, brilliant, quiet, and what he planned that night wasn't random. It was calculated. On February 4th, 2007, in Abilene, Texas, Paris Bennett was home with his 4-year-old sister, Ella Bennett. Their mother had gone to work. A babysitter had been arranged. Everything looked normal, but Paris didn't want anyone there. At some point that evening, he convinced the babysitter to leave early. That decision mattered, because from that moment on, no one else was in the house. Paris had already been struggling internally. He was highly intelligent, far ahead of most kids his age. But beneath that, there were darker thoughts. He later admitted he had been thinking about harming someone for a long time. And that night, he made a decision. He walked into his sister's room while she slept. What followed wasn't sudden. It wasn't an accident. It was deliberate. He attacked her, physically assaulted her, strangled her, and stabbed her 17 times. Then, instead of panicking, he stayed in control. He called 911. On the phone, he tried to sound desperate. He claimed something was wrong. He even pretended to help her. But it wasn't real. When authorities arrived, the story didn't hold. The evidence was clear. And eventually, Paris admitted what he had done. But the most disturbing part wasn't just the crime. It was why. He later explained that he wanted to hurt his mother in the worst way possible. Not physically, emotionally. Taking away her youngest child was, to him, the deepest pain he could cause. Because of his age, he was tried as a juvenile. He pleaded guilty and received a 40-year sentence, with the possibility of parole after 20. Years later, the case still raises the same question. How does someone that young think that far ahead and choose to do something like that? This wasn't a loss of control. It was control used in the worst possible way.